Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Housing and asks, does he believe that all New Zealanders should have access to appropriate and affordable housing?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Mr Speaker, yes, as I've stated repeatedly in the House, this government is committed to assisting those New Zealanders most in need.
Moana Mackay.
Supplementary to the Minister, why has he axed Housing New Zealand's shared equity scheme from tomorrow, given that before the election he promised to continue it, at least until his still unfunded Gateway Affordable Housing scheme was available?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Mr Speaker, the shared equity scheme was a Labor Party scheme that was a 2-year pilot that promised, I think, 550 homes to new homeowners. Over the 2 years, they delivered 30. Mr Speaker, we considered that the pilot did not work.
Supplementary.
Moana Mackay.
Does he think the low uptake of shared equity might have something to do with the fact that, according to Housing New Zealand's Senior Communications Advisor Michelle Williams, Housing New Zealand were told to stop promoting it after the change of government?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Yes, Mr Speaker. It would be fair to say that this government decided we weren't going to spend the millions of dollars that could be spent on homes on advertising.
Supplementary. Are tax cuts still National's #1 policy for addressing housing and affordability? And if so, can he confirm that this year's tax cuts are meant to be compensating for an increase in GST, compensating for cost of living increases across the board, compensating for rent increases, and now compensating for housing and affordability? And how far does he think someone on the minimum wage can stretch $3 a week?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Mr Speaker, certainly delivering more people more money in their back pocket after a day's work is part of the policy of addressing housing and affordability, because it gives them more money to pay off their mortgage and pay their rent and make a whole bunch of choices. It's better than a shared equity scheme that was going to be 550 houses but ended up being 30.
Rahui Katanei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What priority has the Minister given to assisting...
I'd invite the member to start a question again. I'm sorry.
Thank you. To the Minister, what priority has he given to assisting Danielle Kovaskali of Titahi Bay into appropriate housing, and what action will he take to address the fact that she has had to wait for more than a year for Housing New Zealand to address the Māori state house she lives in, even though Danielle, who has renal failure and is on dialysis, has been told by her doctors that she must be moved for the good of her tenuous health?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Mr Speaker, I understand that the Kovaskali family are on a high priority list to be relocated to another 4-bedroom property. However, they've declined properties that have been offered to them in the past as they considered that they did not meet their needs, which is fair enough. That's their decision. However, Housing New Zealand can only offer them properties as they become available in the area, and we will certainly be doing so.
That brings to a close questions for oral answer.